Miles the Munster is ready to host the trucks of the Northwestern Truck Series on iRacing Virtual Dover International Speedway here tonight on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Good evening. I am Wesley Outland, joined alongside is Chris Dunn. Chris, we had an eventful Cup Series race at Dover on Monday night for the Northwestern Cup Series. I think we're going to see the same for the trucks this evening.
I don't call it the Monster Mile for nothing, and I expect a lot of, as you would call it, mayhem and carnage here on this mile racetrack here at Dover Downs. I don't want to say it's going to be a caution-plagued race, but you know how Dover is. You've seen it many times.
Dover is one of those 1 mile concrete jungles where you could have a green flag run that goes for a decent while, and then you could have a time where basically a caution field, and green to caution, cautions breed cautions. That scenario comes into play. It just depends on the drivers and what type of scenario we're going to see here tonight. The next round of the Northwestern Truck Series presented by Walt's Beard Co. here on LSR TV. Drivers meeting is currently underway. It's about to get wrapped up in a few more minutes, and then we'll get ready to go with qualifying. Again, this 1 mile track is going to be very unique. We're going to see, I believe, I think somebody's going to break through as a new winner tonight on the tour. What do you think, Chris?
Oh, most definitely. They Dover is synonymous for making new winners, and we've had, Dan West Jr. has pretty much dominated the entire season along with Jeff Stabnow. Other than those two guys, who are you looking for to break through here? I'm looking at some of the names here. Tom Green, Corey Walters, Frank Harris, James Thurston, some of those guys, Stephen O'Hare. They're looking to break through and get that first win.
I'll tell you who I think I'd like to see come to victory lane tonight, and that is the driver of the 53, Carl Burke. He's had some really good runs the last couple of weeks that you've seen on LSR TV broadcast for the Cup and the Truck Series. And if everything goes right for that 53, I think he could be a contender to go to victory lane.
Yeah, I've got to stand corrected. Stephen O'Hare does have a win already this season at Texas Motor Speedway back on March 26th. But he's a guy that he's good enough he can win his second win tonight.
Could be anybody's night tonight for sure. And, of course, we'll always keep an eye on Team LSR, including the driver, the 24 of Jeff Stabnow and the 55 of Dan West Jr. Find it ironically also that Devon West is also here. Remember, they had some netcode issues that kind of took each other out in the Cup Series race at Dover on Monday night. Hopefully we do not see those problems transpire for the trucks this evening from Dover.
Man, those netcode issues, they could reach out and bite you. It's just the computer thinking about what you're going to do next without you doing it. You could be, the video can show you being about a good 2 feet away from a guy, but it'll still spin you out. So it can just jump up and bite you at any time.
And at that time, qualifying is officially underway now for the drivers of the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series presented by Walt's Beard Co. James Vining, the cat is stowed away. His truck is ready to go here at Dover. We'll see what kind of laps he puts down in his Toyota.
See what kind of laps he does indeed put down. He's got a good groove there. Run around in the middle of the racetrack as they roll out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway.
Looks like he's riding with Stone Cold Steve Austin here tonight.
That's right, the BMF mobile. That's what they call that thing right there. Stone Cold Steve Austin looking to clean together a couple of Steve Weisers after the race tonight if he could put it in victory lane. A 23.12 the time for him, currently second quick.
But right now, 23.12 on his first lap. We'll see how it holds. Ryan Maines right now at the top of the board in the number 13 with a 22.95, but not anymore. There's the man I was talking about, Carl Burke, in that 53 right out of the gate on his first lap. He puts it in P1 in his Chevrolet.
You mentioned he was one of the guys to watch here tonight, and he is immediately putting himself up there at the top spot. See what he can do here on this next lap, 22.90. Dana Rogers currently clicking in fourth in the 07 machine, 24.19 machine. And that 07 iRacing sponsored truck. Carl Burke, 23.36. You mentioned him that last time around. So he's going to have a good one right now. He's got the car to beat.
Well, of course, I have the privilege to be reporter every Monday night for the Northwestern iRacing Cup Series on LSR TV. We now bring in a pit reporter now for the trucks, and joining us from Georgia is Chris Lawrence. Chris, what do you think we're going to see on pit road tonight at Dover?
Well, I think we're going to be seeing lots of tight race cars, and they've been talking to the drivers as we've been going through pit road. They've been fighting tight in and loose off conditions, so it should be really interesting to see how this thing goes out throughout the night, West.
He'll be ready to rock and roll up and down pit road, calling those pit stops and grabbing interviews with drivers from time to time in our broadcast. Again, that's Chris Lawrence, Chris Nunn, Wesley Outland up here in the booth with you. Of course, awesome production by Cody Wooten and BJ Duval on the production side of things here tonight from virtual Dover on iRacing for this next round of the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series. Carl Burke right now, again, the quick qualifier, 22:36, the best lap of 22:36. 22:95 is second best. And of course, now we have a new fast man. Yes, sir. Dan West Jr. now goes to the top of the board, 22:81.
Wow, that is absolutely blistering. The only driver now, Stephen O'Hare, goes to the top spot, 22:80 by just a tick.
There you go. Mere thousandths of a second differential between Dan West Jr. and he gets it back. And Stephen O'Hare come back and put it on the pole. As Dan West Jr., they flip-flop on the scoring pylon for 1 and 2. James Thurston will clock in on 7th right now in the 2 truck. And Dan West Jr. will stay at the top spot.
And you gotta love exciting qualifying when you see drivers, knocking each other right off the top spot, going back and forth. That's what makes qualifying exciting.
Of course, we're riding on board now with Chris White, his Ford. The F-150 model has now debuted for about 3 weeks now in the iRacing simulator. And a lot of drivers have took advantage of these new Ford trucks, Chris.
Yeah, the new Ford trucks, the new Ford model, it's a pretty good thing. I don't know if they're going to have any more of the new models come out before this season's over with, but you gotta love the way Ford trucks look. I've always been a Ford guy myself throughout my life, so I don't know what your personal preference is, but
I'm a Chevrolet man. I like Chevrolet. I'm a fan of the bow tie. And speaking of another Chevrolet out there, that's going to be the number 5 of Devon West. We'll see where he clocks on the board. And he will go to 4th on lap number 1. 22.018 on the first lap. We'll see if he can pick it up on his second lap here. Correction, that's actually a 22.82 for the driver of Devon West. Coming around to the line. Second lap on the board. Will he bump up? No. He will stay at 4th.
Pretty good consistent run, however, for Devon West.
John Ottenbacher, we'll see how he does now. Chris in the 89.
Yep, he is on the clock. Tyler King also on the racetrack. Mark Wall's also on the racetrack as well. See how those drivers do here. See what Ottenbacher times in. The green LSR TV number 89 machine. A good-looking car. As he is on the clock, and he currently, he's running about 10th quick right now.
23.176. Tyler King will go into the 8th position. 23.03 for the driver of Tyler King, 8th overall. And Dan West Jr., the man everybody's looking to run down. Kevin Smith in that 00 Jags entry, 2nd quick. And Chris, Kevin Smith is one of those drivers that he's, got really strong qualifying runs. He just struggles in race trim. If he could figure out how to get that truck from getting in trouble, he could have a chance to be a winner here tonight at Dover.
Yeah, he's just got to figure out that the late race runs. It's one of those deals where you got to have a car that's going to be set up for the late race runs. If you have a car that's good enough on the early parts of the race, then it's not going to help you out of the last part. That's for sure.
17 trucks have taken time as Thurston just wraps up his lap. He's 10th now overall. Let's go back down to pit road to Chris Lawrence. Chris, what's the strategy the driver's talking about now in qualifying so far?
Haven't really talked with them since they've been on pit road yet, but I'll check in on a couple of drivers and I'll get back with you, Wes.
All right, and remember, we're going to grab an interview with our fast qualifiers. It's looking right now to be the number 55 of Dan West Jr. Currently, that's the man that's out in front in that number 55 entry. Here comes Jeff Stapp now. The Walt's Beard Co. Ford, number 24 for LSR TV. One of the all-time winners of the Northwest Racing Series on the Speedway for Truck and Cup, Chris Nunn.
Yeah, he is going to be one to watch for the pole right now. He currently has, I'm trying to count the wins. He has 1, 2, 3 wins on the season so far. He's looking to pick up number 4 and to get on the timing clock here to get number 1. Pole position is key here at Dover. You know, it doesn't mean much later on in the race, but starting up front always helps.
One last Thursday night at Darlington. And remember, they struggled big time in that 24 truck. He said that truck was not going to handle well. He wasn't going to have a good piece, and he fooled us all. I called him the Possum. That's his nickname, the Possum. From North Dakota, the number 24. Jeff Stabnow right now third on the scoring pylon to your left of the screen. We'll see if he can make a better lap as he comes to the checkered flag this time by. Will he bump Smith and West? He will.
Wow.
Jeff Stabnow to the pole.
By 1/100th or 1,000th of a second, I believe.
22.73. 22.734 to be exact in the fast qualifier for Jeff Stabnow. What a lap he put down.
Who said qualifying wasn't exciting, Wesley?
So Jeff Stabnow got a couple of more trucks that have not entered the racetrack just yet. They might actually decide to not qualify or take time, and they'll just tag the back, as there's still about 8 minutes or so left to go in qualifying. If they take advantage of it, or they'll grid the field, we'll get ready for this feature event here on LSR TV. Again, a phenomenal job by the driver of the number 24 of Jeff Stabnow. 22.734 seconds. What a lap he put down. He is your fast man, and he will be the driver that everybody will be watching here whenever we go racing later tonight.
I believe we might have our fast qualifier in here.
22.734. We'll wait till the field gets gridded, and then we'll get ready to grab an interview with our fast qualifier as we get ready to go racing here tonight for the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series on LSR TV. The trucks, again, follow us at LSR TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're also at livesimracing.com, the official website. And again, great work by Cody Watson and BJ Duval on production, as always. Again, Stabnow, Dan West Jr., Kevin Smith, Stephen O'Hare, and Devon West, your top 5 fast qualifiers. Just about 6 minutes remaining now on the clock, and qualifying will officially become void, and we'll get the field set to grid unless it's earlier than that for this event. So far, very surprised with the likes of Stabnow and West, and I'll tell you, Chris, very impressed with Kevin Smith, and also Mark Waltz right there qualifying in the top 10, as well as my pick for the race, Carl Burt.
Yeah, Kevin Smith, if you could, he's had a little bit of issues last race. According to the rundown, he got disqualified at the last race, so he's trying to make a little bit of amends for that disqualification last week. He's got a good starting spot in the third. Dan West, he's no slouch up front as well, but Jeff Stabnow, he has 3 wins. He won the last race at Darlington, and he's looking to go 2 in a row, and he's got a good spot to start in.
A very fast truck for sure. We'll see how he does here this evening as we continue along with this event tonight at Dover. Miles the Munster, I'm sure, is going to snake bite some drivers and see how things develop. Be sure to cover all the action here tonight on LSR TV. Hey, by the way, don't forget, this will be the official wrap-up of all the coverage on LSR TV for the week, and then we come back for a new week of action on Monday night. Sunday night. Sunday night, the Adrenaline iRacing League will have racing, of course, from Daytona. We'll have the call for that event. That will be on Sunday night at 6:45 Eastern Time, again on LSR TV. Then that will kick off another great week of race broadcast coverage, including the Northwestern Cup Series on Monday night. That'll be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway from the Brickyard. Tuesday night, there's a new league that's coming out. More details on that. Wednesday night, the World of Thunder, a league that Chris Dunn is very involved with. They will be in action. And then, of course, Thursday night, the Race Gen Challenge Series. They're off this week. They come back next week for racing. And then, of course, the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series presented by Walt's Beard Co. All of those great content of events at LSR TV. The field is gritty, and we are set to go for this event.
I can't wait for next week's event here for the trucks. Indianapolis, the Indianapolis 250. The trucks on the flat 2.5 miles at the greatest race course in the world. It's going to be like a home game for me.
To be a fun one from Indianapolis, the Brickyard. And then, of course, remember the Cup Series is in action on Monday night from Indianapolis. Pretty much normally what they try to follow is the same sequence. They run the Cup Series, and then they run the Truck Series at the same track. They are gritting. They're getting ready to go. Let's give you your starting lineup for tonight's event for the Northwestern Truck Race tonight from Dover Speedway. Starting lineup presented by DirtFan.com. Wait a minute, that's World of Thunder. Yeah, don't forget about them. They're on Wednesday night. There we go. Jeff Stabnow, he is on the pole, fast qualifier. Dan West Jr. alongside him in row 1. Kevin Smith and Stephen O'Hare make up row number 2.
Row number 3, we are going to see. Sorry, I'm having an issue seeing my screen. I've been having internet issues all night. I do apologize. Mark Walt and Devon West in row number 3. Carl Burke and John Ottenbacher will make up row number 4.
There you see row number 5 of Maines and the driver on the racetrack in the 53 entry, Paulison. Then you have row number 6. And as we look at the rest of the rundown, we're going to bring back in our pit reporter for LSR TV as Chris Lawrence has called up with the fast qualifier, Jeff Stabnow.
Hey, Jeff, this is Chris Lawrence on pit road. You got a copy, sir?
Yeah, Chris, we're going green here in just a second, buddy. I got you, though.
All right, well, you did a great lap. You just have a great time racing, all right, man?
All right, thanks, man.
Wanted to catch him up a little bit sooner, but ladies and gentlemen, as they come in at turn number 4, it is time here at Dover. Trouble front straightaway. Opening lap to fill the Thunder, and we have got a wreck, and it's the pole truck of Jeff Stabnow, Chris Dunn.
Wow, I'm hoping we didn't give him that the jinx talking about it. See what happened here on our instant replay. He just comes out of turn 4 and just loses it and just moses it right there into the wall, coming across the start-finish line. So a tough start for your pole setter, Jeff Stabnow, and he's going to have to get some repairs done and try to get back out on that racetrack.
What a tough break for the driver of the number 24 entry. Jeff Stabnow, the pole truck, simply losing it off the corner, lost it exiting off 4 into the inside retaining wall. And now we have to see how much damage is on the 24. If he has to do a reset to come back. Chris Lawrence, he's on pit road limping in front of you.
So Chris Lawrence is going to get a word with our with Jeff Stabnow, our points leader. Man, Wesley, that is about as bad as luck as you can get to start a race.
Yeah, a tough break for that driver there in the number 24, mentioning such a great job he had going on. What a tough break here. Let's go down to Chris Lawrence on pit road for an update.
Hey, Wes, I was just talking with Jeff on the radio right before we went to green, obviously, and it just got in his head. You know, I feel terribly bad. It's broken a little bit of his concentration, and the car got loose, and he's now on pit road. He might park it for the night, but hopefully that's not the case. We all feel terrible, I'm sure, but he had a really good car. We'll see if he's able to get back up there.
What a tough break for the driver Thank you for that update of Chris Lawrence getting the deal on Jeff Stabnow, and I hate it for him. A bad way to start the race.
Yeah, when you get out front, when you're a pole setter, you have so many thoughts going through your head. How am I going to start the race? I got to lead the field down. I got pre-race interviews to do. It's how much of that weighs on your shoulders, Wesley? I mean, being a pole setter, if you had to put yourself in his seat, how much pressure is on you?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, it's been several times before that he's been able to handle that. I'm thinking that something happened with the truck and snapped loose, and he lost control there. So I don't think the mindset was there per se, not there. The mindset's always there for Jeff Stabnow when he gets out on the racetrack. But right now he's going to fall a lap down, maybe more, as they are making repairs on the number 24 entry. We're under caution here in the early going. Let's take a quick break on LSR TV from Dover. We'll be back, your home of sim racing.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Back here at Dover, getting ready for the restart here for the Walt Beard Co. Northwestern Truck Series. A tough break for Jeff Stabnow. Out. Now I need another team LSR truck of Dan West Jr. Pulls away from the field. We're back to green, Chris Dunn here at Dover. They roar to turn 1.
Dan West leads the field into turn number 1 and 2. Kevin Smith slides into that second spot as they go down in that back straightaway here at Dover. I'm always going to call it Dover Downs because that's what I grew up calling it, Dover Downs. Is Kevin Smith. Stephen O'Hare, who was trading the pole spot with Dan West and Jeff Stabnow during qualifications. To complete our next lap here is still West, Smith, and O'Hare, 1, 2, and 3, with Devon West lurking back there in 4th.
A lot of name changes for this facility over the years. Dover International Raceway, Dover International Speedway, Dover Downs Speedway, Dover Downs International Raceway, and now it's Dover International Speedway as the name for the track as we go back down the front straightaway. Dan West Jr., the man that leads them here in the first state of Delaware, virtually back to turn 2. And we got a caution. Caution is out for the second time. Truck's limping on the bottom of the apron. We'll send and find out who it is. Oh, man, what a tough break. There's my pick.
And a lot of the favorites going down here early. First Stabnow. Now Carl Burke finding himself in some early trouble here.
Now, here's something to think about. Jeff Stabnow was the only truck 1 lap down, so he will get the free pass and cycle back around on the lead lap. Let's see your LSRD replay of what happened here to 53 Carl Burke. Wow, a wreck in front of him. He had nowhere to go. Flipping through the air. That's the 48 truck. That's Thurston. Correction, that's Mark Walt's entry. Mark Walt's going around there.
Take a look at exactly what just happened here, and it's like a big chain reaction incident. Wow, Wesley, we got to give him about an 8.2 on hang time there.
What a tough break. Riding on board. Let's see what happened here. Waltz and everyone else lost it right there. Look out. What a hit. Head up and over. Ground, sky, all fours. Multi-truck accident. Chris Lawrence, pit road's busy in front of you. Chris is quickly on the scene, trying to grab interviews with some of these drivers, talking about what happened. We're going to see if we can grab a word with Mark Waltz and find out what happened. One of the men behind Walt's Beard Co., sponsor of the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series. Well, Chris, there goes two of my picks out of the race. Well, at least not out, but damaged. Staff now does get to go back on the lead lap.
Yeah, with Stab now coming back now in the lead lap, he is going to be one to watch as he charges through the field. Wesley, we know he's fast enough. He's proved that in qualifications. He's proved it all year long. We know he's fast enough, but how long will it take him to get back up front?
And the thing you have to remember, too, is he has one reset. He used it after that crash on the start. So no resets for the driver. Let's go down to pit road and Chris Lawrence.
Yeah, Wes, I was talking to, who was it again? Oh, sorry, my head. I talked to Mark and Carl. Mark's car got a little free on exit and he's overcorrected. And Carl just happened to, be riding back there and just, didn't have anywhere to go. I also saw a couple people in pit road. The 91 of Scott Hutchinson, the 18 of Roy, the 11 of Frank Harris. They're all coming in, getting those tires and just trying to get a couple repairs and adjustments in.
Well, thank you for that update there again for the driver coming to the pits. And again, Stab now, the lucky dog, or the free pass going back on the lead lap. As right now, he is currently back outside the top 10 in 11th position. Chris, you said it a moment ago, plenty of time in this 150-lap race to come back and make something happen.
Oh, he's absolutely got plenty of time, as we are currently working lap 12 of 150 at the moment. So he has got absolutely plenty of time. And we're going to have more cautions. He can set those cautions up, get some good pit stops, and make himself, as you can see, he's worked him. He's already up into the 11th position right now as they came through with pit stops. So he's got himself up there in a good spot.
Some pit stops early here in this event at Dover. We've still seen the dominance of Dan West Jr. in that number 55 entry. Nobody can catch him. And the Jegs car, the Jegs truck of Kevin Smith as well. This is what I was talking about earlier in the broadcast. That's what I was talking about earlier in the broadcast was basically whenever you down pit road and he struggled in some of these races many times for Kevin Smith. If he could figure out a way to just harness that aggression, so to speak, and have a good solid run, he could be a contender in his 00 Chevrolet to win here at Dover today.
As I said, he's got to manage his car throughout the rest of the race. He's coming off that disqualification last week, so he is looking to capitalize on this good run right now, currently sitting in second. But it's like you said, Wesley, he's had some issues late in the race, and he's got to overcome those.
Got to overcome it for sure. Still under the caution flag here at Dover. And we discussed as we came on the air that you might see this type of scenario. 1 minute, we could see a long green flag run, and then it's cautions breed cautions. First stab now got bit. Then we had a big wreck on the front stretch with Walt's and a couple of other trucks involved as well. And now we set ourselves up for the third restart of this race. Dan West Jr. is the leader. Kevin Smith is second. Stephen O'Hare third. Devon West, son to Dan West Jr., is in fourth. Tyler King, fifth. Thurston, Maines, Lowther, Ottenbacher, and Paulison. Ready, Chris, to bring us back for a restart as we complete lap 14 and put lap 15 on the board.
Dan West Jr., Kevin Smith, your front row here on our restart lineup. Stephen O'Hare, Devon West in row number 2, Tyler King and James Thurston. Make up your top 6 as we work lap number 14. And get set to work lap number 15 here. The Dover, the Monster Miles. We roll out of turn 4. Green flag is back out. And Dan West Jr., man, what a great start he got coming out of turn number 4. Devon West now slides up into that third spot. He is now going to battle with Kevin Smith for that runner-up spot as they roll out of turn number 2.
Here we go again. Look at that battle heating up as they're going to try to fan back out single file as they go back into 3. Dan West Jr., Kevin Smith, Devon West has slithered his way now to the number 3 spot. Single file, the train roars back to the line as here comes a shot for the lead by Smith on West, back to 1.
Out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway they go. Way out of 1 and 2, excuse me. So we roll out of turn number 2. Kevin Smith right there on Dan West Jr.'s bumper as they roll down the back straightaway into turn number 3. They file back, single file one more time. Devon West in that third spot. Stephen O'Hare back and forth, watching that happen. Yeah, Wesley, you're going to see a lot of this single file action. So they're trying to set up their moves here going into 1.
That's right. They'll stay back out single file now. Devon West now looking for the opportunity to try to close in on Smith for the top spot. They'll fan back out single file. Here comes Smith down to the bottom of the racetrack. Stroud thought he was going to shoot it below the bottom of the apron to make a move. He didn't. He had to close up and go back out single file as Dan West Jr. pulling away as they come back to the stripe and finally get 3 laps under green.
Yeah, Dan West starting to get a little bit of a gap between himself and Kevin Smith, about 2 to 3 car lengths as they roll out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Top 7 cars sneaking around down the back straightaway. Single file, West Smith and Devon West. Stephen O'Hare in 4th, Thurston 5th. King checking out, trying to check out Stabno. He's fell back to the 20th position from the pole setter, back to 20th.
Riding on board there with the back of Kevin Smith's car, or truck actually. There's a Chevrolet in front of him. Devon West looking to make a move for the 3rd position. There he's in 3rd, looking to try to go for the bridesmaid spot. As here they come exiting again off the front straightaway, down across the stripe, back to turn 1, and for the most part, everyone's single file. Kevin Smith had a shot at him on Dan West, but once he finally got back to going into speed, he has sailed away from the pack. Interval almost 1 second as they go into turn number 3.
Yeah, almost over once. A caution is out on the racetrack again. Wesley, caution out one more time here at Dover.
Caution back out. We'll see what happened here. 3rd yellow. 21 of 150 and another caution. Here's your replay. We'll see what happened. Wow. 07 got turned, had a little bit of help, and he lost it.
Yeah, Frank Harris kind of gave him the old chrome horn there. Dana Rogers had nowhere to go but around.
So we go back under caution. 21 laps in. Chris Dunn, do you think anybody comes to pit road? I think they are. Pit road is about to become a busy place. Chris Lawrence, they're coming down in front of you.
Looks like Chris is off talking to one of the drivers, but man, Wesley, this is wholesale pit action right here. West, everybody, the whole entire top 15, top 16 are in the pit area. Scott Hutchinson not pitting. You notice that he is the only car that did not pit.
Got pit stops going on here, and let's go down to pit road now to Chris Lawrence. Chris.
Yeah, they're all coming in for the fresh rubber of Goodyear and that great drink of Sunoco fuel going into the cars as the cars love as they're all trying to get those tires and adjustments in. See what the race is on pit road.
We'll see what the race will be like on pit road as they'll exit. Dan West Jr. off first. He enters first, he'll exit first. Scott Hutchinson will be the man that will actually be the leader now when they cycle back around for pit stops. Looks like father-son West will be 1 and 2 off pit road, Chris.
Always good to have father-son coming off pit road 1 and 2. But what do you think of Scott Hutchinson's strategy there, not pitting?
It's still early. Still early for the driver of Scott Hutchinson. He does not. He'll stay out. Looks like also Carl Burke staying out on the racetrack. Now it looks like Hutchinson went out pit road. So he gives up after leading at least a lap. Hutchinson will cycle back around pit stops, going to the leader of number 55, Dan West Jr. Carl Burke's in front of him. Gonna get a free pass here. Let's go back down to pit road for an update on the 11 truck with Chris Lawrence.
Yeah, Wes, I was talking to Frank Harris, you know, when he came down in the 1 and 2 right there, and he just said the car just got a little loose as he's trying to race Dana Rogers, you know, for that spot, and the car just pushed right into him. He felt really sorry, you know, but, you know, it just happens. It's over the Monster Mile. It looks like the Monster just reached out and grabbed him.
Definitely biting a lot of people here, as we are under the yellow flag for the 3rd time here, just 25 laps into this deal. Not even 25 laps. We'll take a break. When we come back, more coverage from Dover. The iRacing Northwestern Truck Series presented by Walt's Beard Co. rolls along. Dan West Jr., the leader in the 55. Ready to come back for the restart time around 25 of 150, 125 laps to go. Chris Dunn, Wesley Outland, Chris Lawrence on pit road. Production for LSR TV includes Cody Wooten and BJ. Ready to come back for the restart. And I'll tell you what, Chris Dunn, what a phenomenal job by Dan West Jr. It's been his race so far since Stabnow's issues, but Stabnow slowly but surely starting to climb back in the dogfight.
And right now it's Dan West Jr.'s world, and we're just living in it right now. He has been pulling out through some pretty decent-sized leads over the field, but as you mentioned, now it's a family affair on the front row.
We'll see how they'll fare out as we'll get ready to come back for a restart here. Back underway. What a restart for Dan West Jr. and father, son West, Devon West in second. They'll set sail and pull away from Smith & Company off turn 2.
Down the backstretch they go. It is still Dan West, Devon West, 1 and 2. As Dan's got about a car length and a half lead over Devon. Caution is out again. As what we talked about before the race, West, it could either be long green flag runs or this could be a caution fest. Right now, it is airing towards the latter.
Cautions breed caution, and we are back under the... Now what happened? That's the second time the Zoo truck has been involved in an accident on the racetrack. This time he collects the 77. That's Dana Rogers, and Tom Green calls up in flag number 4.
Looks like Green had a little bit of help going around.
Dana Rogers and Tom Green putting us under yellow flag yet again for the 4th time. Got a couple of trucks on pit road.
All right, back here at Dover, Scott Hutchison, Dennis Moore, Frank Harris, Carl Burke in the pits as well. It's been all the Dan West show, or Dan West Jr. show right now, as he continues to lead. Devon West currently sits in that 2nd position as we're currently working caution. Dennis Moore, Scott Hutchison, Frank Harris all in the pit area right now. Carl Burke as well, one more time. So trying to get some more work done on their race cars before we get set to go racing again. Bring our pit road reporter Chris Lawrence in. Chris, I'll tell you what, cautions. This has to mess with pit strategy a ton.
Yeah, I was talking to a lot of the drivers, during the meeting, and they were like, we can probably go about 50, 60, 75 laps if you really got to stretch it on fuel. And they brought lots of tires, but, it looks like people are shaking it up a little bit, bringing in for these final adjustments, getting the right side's done, bringing some in on the left sides. So we'll see what happens as the race goes on. But yeah, a lot of things going on.
All right, Chris Lawrence down there on the pit road. Wesley Outland joining us back in the booth here. Had to step out and talk to security there for a second. Wesley, welcome back.
Yeah, just for a second, I had to make an adjustment to make sure everything was working properly. We're still under the yellow flag with Dan West Jr. and son Devon West, 1 and 2. We have seen the scenario several times before. 3rd place is Kevin Smith, Stephen O'Hare, James Thurston right now, your top 5 in that number 2 entry. And again, still a lot of racing here left to go. And Chris, typical Dover. We've seen green caution several times tonight. It's been no hardly green flag race runs.
Yeah, if it gets to the point where yellow flag laps start to outdo the green flag laps, that is an issue. So hopefully we can break this string of cautions and get a nice 50 to 60 lap green flag run, so we can finally see some pit strategy take place. Because it's, as we were mentioning as you were outside, it's hard to have a pit strategy when you're going caution every 2 or 3 laps.
Build should hopefully come back around this time by. The lights will go off on the pace car, and we should get ready for a restart. Working lap 30 of 150, 120 laps to go here in this event. The Miles the Munster 150 for the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series, presented by Walt's Beard Co. on LSR TV. Hey, Race on Texas has got you covered with the Track Pass. And of course, another big event coming up in October is going to be the Lone Star 600. Our next caution commercial break will have details about that. Again, raceontexas.com, check them out. And of course, on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, all the great race coverage that they offer. They've got a lot of great things to keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of motorsports, dirt track racing, and more. And one of the big culminations is that Lone Star 600. So we'll have details on that when we come back for the restart.
Have you ever seen footage of that Lone Star 600 race, Wes?
I've seen highlights and whatnot, but never have seen a full-on production broadcast. Have you, Chris?
Oh, yeah. I cannot imagine being on that field. You'd have hundreds of race cars on that racetrack at one time. And if you ever get a chance to look it up on YouTube, if anybody's watching it, just check out the Lone Star 600. It is insane. It's one of the best endurance races you're going to find. It's all kinds of classes of cars running together.
Ready to come for the restart here. 32. Ready. Back under green. We're back underway. Dan West Jr. pulls away. Quickly, let's go down to pit road. Chris Lawrence for an update.
Yeah, I've talked to the 33, or no, sorry, 77 Tom Green. He's holding that faster pair, but his crew driver's doing a really good job trying to get the car back together. Also, the 07 of Dana, he said his crew is really baiting on those things during the caution. He's able to get the car back on the track, looking really good, hoping to get back up in there in the fight.
And we're watching Jeff Stabnow right now, that number 24 truck. He's currently on the outside of the top 10 looking in, trying to get around James Vining in the 333 Austin colors as they get ready to exit off turn 4, back down the straightaway, or the backstretch now, going to turn number 3. All right, boys, let's get about a 30, 40 lap green flag run under their belt. Chris Dunn, shall we?
Let's do it. I got my fingers crossed, and we're knocking on wood here up in the booth. Dan West Jr. out front, 0.3 of a second over Devon West, Kevin Smith, Tyler King, Stephen O'Hare, as we have got a battle here shaping up. Looks like, can't quite see the number of that one. That is, there's Stephen O'Hare right there in the 41. Kevin Smith as well. A lot of shuffling taking place here in the top 5. Stephen O'Hare goes to 4th.
Slicing and dicing for sure as they make their way back down the back straightaway now, exiting off of turn number 2. Miles the Munster has certainly snake bit a lot of drivers here in the early going of the opening 35 laps. With Dan West Jr. out in front, Devon West in the number 2. Tyler King, we ain't mentioned Tyler King that much. Tyler King in that blue number 44 entry. He's got a good run going for him. In 3rd position, Stephen O'Hare currently in 4th and 41. And Kevin Smith, who at one time was in 2nd. Chris has now fallen back up 5.
He is fell back a little bit. A shout out to Ryan Maines. He's moved up 3 spots, 9th to 6th. Chris White up 8 spots. He is up in the 8th position now. Take a look at some of your movers and shakers. You mentioned Tyler King. He has moved up 8 spots as well, up to 3rd. So people starting to make their moves early on here in this one.
Got a strong run going for them right now as they'll exit back down the back straightaway. Look at Bakker. Bakker battling alongside for that position for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Chris White to the inside. Manning in front of him as Grande is also in that battle. I think it's a lap truck of the 18 of Roy Grande.
Indeed, he is a lap car as they roll here. Just a few cars lined down. Walters, Grande, Burke, Thurston, all a lap down. As Ottenbacher, he's got a lot of lap traffic ahead of him there. Maine's Stab now right behind him as well, but Chris White right ahead of him as they move through lap traffic.
Watching him as they'll exit off the turn here. Down the back straightaway, Dan West Jr. and Devon West. We have seen this father-son combo continue several times before, and no different here tonight at Dover. Finally getting a couple of good laps under our belt for Green. And we are seeing now just how strong these Team LSR TV entries are of Father-Son West as they go back into turn number 3.
The gap is about 9/10 of a second right now between West and West. And then a second back from first to third to King. O'Hare sits back there in that 4th spot. Everybody's starting to spread out a little bit now. Got a little bit of a extended green flag run going now. So you're starting to see the cream of the crop right now. They're starting to spread out. There you see the top 5, the gap between all 5 of those cars right there.
Another lap on the board. Everybody, for the most part, staying single file. By the way, you watch that ticker on the upper left of your screen when you see the green to the red.
Again.
We have another yellow. I think it's Paulison with a problem in 58. I think that's what we're going to say on the 58 truck. Let's see it. Paulison, the 48 got into him. And that's why we're under caution. Paulison and Mark Waltz, caution number 5. Or is this caution number 6? I've lost count. Trucks are coming to pit road, though. Let's cover pit stops now for the second time to Chris Lawrence.
Yes, they're coming down pit road here at the Dover Monster Mile. Gotta go get those 4 fresh Goodyear tires and that wonderful great Sunoco racing fuel as they all pull in the pit road here. Looking to get the right side tires going on here. They get their pit stall. As the crew finally goes over the wall to the right side, lug nuts blasting those 5 lug nuts off, putting the tires back on. The crew rushes around and rips the tire off the front windshield. Goes around the left side, jack up in the air. On the left side, nuts off, down, and off they go.
Race off pit road will go to Dan West Jr. and Devon West. A couple of other trucks did not pit, including Dana Rogers and Scott Hutchinson, who are mired a couple of laps down, trying to get laps back. Free passes will be coming shortly as well, as we are under the caution flag. Trucks in the back now coming in, including now Hutchinson in 91 and also Dana Rogers. So it'll cycle back around for the second time, going back to Dan West Jr., son Devon West behind him. The trucks continue on LSR TV. When we come back, you're home for sim racing.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
Lights are off on the pace car, getting ready for the restart. The West and West show continues here at Dover. Dan West Jr. leading the way, followed by Devon West. Remember, those drivers were off last weekend as they were at Skagit Speedway for reality racing duties. Tyler King sits in third. Stephen O'Hare, that's a driver, Chris, you were talking about. He's done really good, currently fourth. And Chris White, never count him out in 83. Texas winner, currently in the top 5.
All those guys in the top 5 currently capable of winning this event. Bakker right there in that 6th position, another one to watch. And how about Stab now? He's worked himself up to 7th.
Ready for more, as well as Vining, Lowther, and Harris. Right now, the top 10 will get ready to come back for restart. Close it in on under 100 laps to go. A century grind remaining here for the Miles the Munster. 150. Green flag back in the air here at Dover. And just like same old song and dance, lyrics to a song, the same outcome for Dan West Jr. He pulls away to the back straightaway. And we're right back under caution again.
And caution number 6 rears its ugly head here at Dover. Take a look at your instant replay.
26 up into traffic. Paulison, 4, 5, 6, 7 trucks open up a parking lot in turn number 1. The track is blocked. Wow. Here's a replay. On board with a 26 truck that hit the wall. Not to mention all the other drivers that got caught up in the chaos as well. Is that Walt's up there on the top of the wall? Yes, it was. Couple of others.
Well, actually, I think this might be caution number 7 right here.
Yeah, I was thinking it was caution flag 7 also.
Unlucky number 7.
Devon was telling me, our producer, one of our producers was saying it was yellow flag number 6, but, or number 5. So if that was the case, the last one, this would be 6, but I'm having a feeling this is our 7th caution. Anyhow, there are trucks on pit road having service being done. Chris Lawrence, what's happening?
Yeah, it looks like we have the 11, the 34 to 333 of James Vining, the 58 of Steve Paulson, the 91 of Stephen Hutchinson, the 77 Tom Green coming in. Everyone from there on back, it looks like probably 9th on back came in, get some body work done, do adjustments. Some guys have fast repairs, some guys didn't. A lot of guys working hard on these crews trying to get these body panels back straight. So we can only see what happens as the race goes on.
Yeah, a lot of damaged trucks there coming in. Dana Rogers, there you see in the 07 entry. Other trucks rolling off. Tom Green in 77. Mark Walt's Beard Co. entry sponsor, number 48. And by the way, Chris Nunn, this is yellow flag number 6. It is official.
Number 6 right here. Next one will be unlucky number 7. Let's hope we don't see number 7.
That's true. Lights on the pace car yet again here at Dover International Speedway. LSR DV coverage coming up on 100 laps remaining in the Miles of Munster 150 here at Dover. Your home for sim racing. Wesley Outland, Chris Dunn, Chris Lawrence on pit road. Production includes Cody Wooten, executive producer, and also BJ Duval. So under yellow flag number 6. Our producer says by lap 54 we'll have another caution. I hope not.
So on race day, when it's not race day, what do you think Miles the Monster does on his off time?
Each use race cars.
He's gonna have a lot of them to eat tonight, that's for sure.
Got himself a junkyard in the infield. Attrition rate brewing down on pit road, isn't it, Chris Lawrence?
Yeah, the crew guys hopped back over the wall on the 91, 11, and the 29. They're just really going to work trying to get as much damage repaired on all these cars and trying to keep it, you know, lap down or just minimum laps down as possible. They really, you know, breaking out the bats, hammers, crowbars, anything that would make the body panels straight.
Baseball bats are next. More trucks out of the pit lane. Grande. All those drivers coming in. Corey Walters, he struggled. Paulison back on pit road in the 58. He was the one that got caught up in that wreck as well. We just had the big one in turn number 1 here just a moment ago. That's why we're under caution.
Now we're going to get set for our big, long green flag run. That's going to be my prediction.
I hope so. I hope so. I know our producer's saying it's going to be lap 54. We're going to have another caution. We're 51 of 150. We're officially 100 laps to go here. And we get settled in for the restart. Father-Son West show. What a phenomenal art job they are here in this series, Chris Dunn. Wow.
Yeah, you can definitely tell they are two of the best drivers we got here. Like father, like son. Two on the LSR TV stable right there. As they roll 1 and 2, they've been 1 and 2 throughout the entire race. And they got the cars to beat right now. We're going to see, though, Jeff Stabnow creeping himself back up. You see him there in 6th position.
Stephen O'Hare, a driver you mentioned earlier, don't count out him in the 41. He looks good in row 2, 3rd. And also the driver Tyler King. I'm happy with the run he has in 4th.
He's got a good car, does Tyler King. Always the quiet Ottenbacher there in 5th position. He's always a quiet one, isn't he?
Ottenbacher has went through his share of bad luck in both the Northwestern Cup Series and the trucks here. And for the last couple of weeks now, he has slowly but surely started climbing the scoring pylon with decent finishes, top 10s, top 5s now. And we'll see how he does in that green number 89 entry. As the field gets set for a restart, the lights are off on the pace car. Ready for green. Dan West Jr., Devon West, row 1. Making up row number 2 is O'Hare and King. You've got Ottenbacher and Stabnow for the top 6, followed by Chris White, Manning, Green, Vining, all in the top 10. Dan Lau, they're also in that mix as well. The pace car getting ready to drop back onto pit road. 98 laps to go here at Dover. In the box, green is out. West Jr. is gone in the 9th.
Out of turn number 1 they go. West opens up about a 2-car length advantage now. Well, Devon pulled up right there to his rear end coming out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. They go down the back straightaway underneath the Ally walking bridge here into turn number 3. Here comes Ottenbacher trying to look underneath King. That's to file back in to Stabnow. He's trying to make some moves as well.
Front straightaway. Dan West Jr., Devon West, 1 and 2. O'Hare and King and Stabnow, 5. That was your top 5. Ottenbacher now getting past for position as Jeff Stabnow has climbed back up to 5th. Chris Dunn.
He's working his way back up. Pole setter had a little bit of early trouble there on lap number 1, looping it around, coming out of turn number 4. And he has worked the cautions to perfection, worked pit stops to perfection, and he is currently sitting in that 5th spot right now, looking at Tyler King in front of him.
Chris Lawrence, back to you on pit road. What do you got to say, or what are the crew are saying about the number 24 truck of Stabnow and his run back to the front?
Yeah, he was really happy of how his car handled in qualifying, Wes, and he just, like I said earlier, he lost focus. He was able to come down. They were able to straighten everything back out on that car, and it looks like he is really happy with the car. It's really hooking up to the track. So I like to see what this car is able to do as the laps keep on going in this longer run.
Currently in the top 5 now for the driver of Jeff Stabnow, closing in now for 3rd and 4th. A 2-for-1 special if he can pull it off. Taking down O'Hare and Tyler King. He's trying to make that work now off of turn number 2.
Slowly creeping up on Tyler King is Stabnow as they roll down into turn number 3. Saw Kevin Smith try to work it underneath the Chris White machine down the back straightaway. He got around Ottenbacher as they roll down that long straightaway. Top 5 cars, though, they are running single file. As you notice, as the green flag laps fly, the more spread out they get. And green flag run right now, currently about 6 laps right now.
Single file back around. Dan West Jr. There it is, the man leading. There's the battle there for second, third, fourth, and fifth. Jeff Stabnow, that F-150 starting to get antsy. Wanting to come to the front, wants to go on the podium for the top three. They make their way to the back stretch. He gets a good run off the corner, trying to close in, but it looks like, for the most part, Tyler King is stronger down the straightaways than Stabnow is, Chris, as they go back to one.
Into one they go as you checking out that Walt's Beard number 24 machine as he is creeping right on the back of that Tyler King machine down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3 they come. He's going to creep back up just a little bit. Man, King, he's got a good run down the front straightaway.
Starting to make a run like a cat's whisker for that position. Just can't seem to reel him in as he's got King now trying to close in down the back straightaway. Tom Green with an issue up the racetrack, and he gets passed by several trucks mired in the back.
A lot of traffic back there mired in the back of the field. There's that 77 machine of Tom Green. They got more in front of him. Louder, fighting. They got everybody back there gathered up. Almost some contact there. These guys are juking and jiving like they're racing for the lead.
Definitely interesting here as we're closing in on halfway. The Miles, the Munster 150 rolls on the next round for the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series presented by Walt's Beard Co. on LSR TV. Your home for sim racing. Those that are watching on YouTube, Facebook, thank you for watching. We have a loyal fan base, and then we have new people that jump in, a part of almost the 8,000 subscribers that check out the action on a weekly basis. Racing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. They keep us busy, Chris Dunn.
Tell you what, you could announce every night of the week if you wanted to. If you really wanted to pick up some gigs in this iRacing announcing deal, you can announce a lot of times, even 4 times on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what you do for World of Thunder.
It was 5 times because after the World of Thunder races, we had another league that ran after midnight my time that I would announce with Steven and Brett with.
Dan West Jr., the man leading the way. This battle for 5th and 4th. Continuing, Stabnow clears around King. Now he'll set up O'Hare. He's got a run on the inside. Door to door. Give P3 to Stabnow. Back to 1.
And he is working himself up now into that 3rd spot. He currently sits 1.3 seconds back behind your leaders as they roll into turn number 3. We'll see if he can catch the father-son duo, Dan West Jr. and Devon West. He's got a good enough car right now, and he is flying right now. Checking some of those lap times, the last lap time, it was Stabnow 24.21, but Dan West, though, was quicker, 24.13.
I think it's safe to say, suffice, Chris Lawrence, that these top 3 trucks are the class of the field, the West family and Stabnow. Back to the back straightaway. We'll see how they go. Go ahead. What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
Oh, I was going to say Chris Lawrence is out working pit road right now, getting us some interviews. Did
I say Chris Lawrence? I'm sorry. I was meaning Chris Dunn. My bad.
Right now, we're taking a look at 44 Tyler King trying to work underneath Stephen O'Hare for that 4th position. Chris White behind them in the number 6 machine. As they roll down the front straightaway, put Tyler King up to 4th. Now here they come. You can throw a blanket over 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Tyler King, Chris White, Walt's lap trucks now in the way of this battle. No, a correction. They're not lap track. They're on the lead lap, fighting for position. Even after all that crazy shenanigans they've been through, they're on the lead lap, being involved in cautions. And I got to tell you, there's got to be a problem on the 41 of Stephen O'Hare, Chris Dunn. He has fallen way to the back now.
And how about Jeff Stabnow? He just passed Devon West for the 2nd spot. He is working himself up, and he is only 0.7 of a second behind your leader, Dan West Jr. Wesley, how about this run from your pole setter?
Involved in an accident just a few moments ago. at the start. Had to come back on a repair and battle back through the field. And now he is one spot away from taking back the lead. Update on Stussy and Paulus and Chris Lawrence on pit road.
Yeah, down here at the pit road here and saw the 78 Dan Stullis stop in, and you know, he's like, hey, you know, I'm gonna get out of the way for a little bit, you know, roll the dice, put some new rubber on, and try to get this out here, just turn some laps. Unfortunately for the 58, Steven, he's gonna call it a night. You know, he just wore up his race car too much, and it looks like he's just ready to park it.
And what a tough break for Stephen Paulison for sure in that 58 entry. I was mentioning he was one of those drivers in the Jack Daniels machine that has really had some good runs recently in the Cup and Truck program, but a tough break there for the driver of Stephen Paulison. Understanding that Stephen O'Hare has a lot of rear damage where he got in the wall a few laps ago, costing time. Chris, if we can grab an update on O'Hare to find out what's going on with his truck, that would be great. As Chris Dunn, we have been talking about that. He has fell back to the 8th position now.
I'm on it.
His lap times, they're going down 25.24 last time around. He is a good second off the pace right now from your leaders, but you can definitely tell that rear end.
And caution.
Caution is out.
Caution coming out yet again. This is yellow flag number 7. Let's see what happened. And it is Walt's again in 48. Look out.
Wow. Tyler almost clipped him there as he came across the front straightaway there. Good move by Tyler King to keep from just creaming that Volts car.
That could have been worse than the way it turned out be.
He could have got
single spin for Mark Walt. Wow. Big piece of driving there for those drivers. Well, a decent green flag run has just concluded, and we are actually on halfway as well. This time by cross flags from Barney the flagman on the flag stand, and the Miles the Munster 150 at Dover, ready for the second half as we work on caution number 7. Pit road is open. Chris Lawrence, they're coming to you.
Yep, as they come down the long half-mile front stretch or so, down to their pit stalls, you know, they got Dan West and Devon Stab now, all planning to get the 4 Goodyear tires and get Sunoco fuel as they go across the wall. Right side goes up, lug nuts off, right side goes back on. They run across the back to ground of the car. Take the left side up, lug nuts fly off, left side's back on, tear offs off, and they're out. Away they go.
Stab now coming out second over Dan West Jr. Devon West will exit pit road 3rd. The race off pit road. Well, there you go, Chris. They've all got 4 new tires, fresh sides of rubber, full tank of Sunoco fuel, and they're ready to come back to green here for the second half of this race at Dover.
Tell you what, pit stops making this thing exciting. It's hard telling who's going to come out where on these pit stops, but it's been the West and West show the whole time. But we'll see where Stab now ends up as everything recycles back here when we get back to green.
Everyone else on to pit road. West, King, Smith, O'Hare back up to the top 5 after his pit stops. I think Chris Lawrence is actually trying to find out information on Stephen O'Hare's truck number 41 and see what the problems were on his entry as we are under the yellow flag for the 7th time. Back in a moment from Dover. And the Northwestern iRacing Truck Series continues on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Back here at Dover, getting ready for the restart. But first, let's go down to pit road and Chris Lawrence.
Yeah, I heard you, Wes, asking about Steve O'Hare in the 41. His crew's hard to work. His car feels a little bit loose. They've been making some flight adjustments. Hopefully, just trying to get back up around there where he's going to hang out, just kind of do as best he can. Also, I was able to get a hold of Devon West and Dan West Jr. Both of them. Dan thinks he might be able to hold the sun off, but I had to ask Devon, hey, you got something for the old man up there? He went, hey, he made a couple of adjustments. I think the car's on rails. We're going to the front. I also asked him, like, hey, Jeff Stabnell's on the move. Do you have anything there to worry about? He goes, he has a great car, but I think I'll be able to hold him off. Back to you, Wes.
And by the way, I think Stabnow got a penalty as he is at the tail end of the field. Everyone else a lap down or more, as there has been, I think, some type of a penalty issued for the number 24. There was too fast entering or exiting off pit road for the number 24, but nonetheless, Frank Harris will be the driver on the lucky free pass if we go back to green again. Restart for the second half of this event. 81 of 150. Chris, they're back to 1.
And 1 and 2 they go. West and West lead the field. Tyler King now trying to look to the inside at Devon West. Out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. He will try to get a run. Stabnow too fast entering pit road, Wesley, so that's going to make it a little bit of an issue there for him as Tyler King goes for the runner-up spot. He's going for more down the front straightaway.
And Chris Lawrence, that's a tough break for the driver Jeff Stabnow after such a great run he had coming back with that repaired truck.
Yeah, I mean, he still feels very confident. I had a small word with him on the radio before we went to green. He's like, hey, you know, it happens. I just looked at the gauge wrong. Hey, we're going back to the front.
Going back to the front, we'll see what Stabnow can do as we'll watch that number 24 truck from the tail end of the field. He got he was at the back one time. Let's see if he can come from the back again as Dan West Jr. now has hold off Tyler King and his Ford for the number 1 position, as now Devon West falls back to 3rd, Chris, as they exit off of turn 4.
The thing is, Dan West knows he has got somebody that is just as fast as he is, Tyler King. I believe that's going to make him sit up in the seat just a little bit and grind on up front, because he hasn't been pressured much this entire race, but now he knows that Tyler King's there.
Going through the 2 tunnels on the back straightaway, entering 2 and 3. The Dryden Tunnel and the Ally Tunnel. And sometimes the shadow cloud cover can kind of change the handling on that. But for the most part, we are watching the number 24 of Stabnow charging hard through the field. He has already cracked the top 10, looking and mired through traffic and picking them off. Bakker and White in front of him now, going for 2 for 1 and 3.
He'll try to go underneath Bakker into 3. He'll take that 9th position. He's got Chris White and Dennis Moore in front of him. He'll try to catch up to them and down the front straightaway into turn number 1. And here comes Dan Lowther now to the inside of Bakker. He'll take that 10th spot.
Dan Lowther got himself a good run going for him as well in the top 10 after having some problems on the start of this event, as well as they'll come across the line with Dan West Jr. leading the way. Tyler King, Stephen O'Hare now back up to 3rd, and Kevin Smith with a problem down with a 00 as he falls back outside the top 10.
Issues for that 00 machine. Kevin Smith, he's going backwards as well. Stabnow up to the 8th position. Chris White in front of him in 7th. Dan West Jr., though, still out front. 3/10 of a second lead over Tyler King. Stephen O'Hare has moved into the 3rd spot. Devon West back to 4th. And Mark Walls back up to 5th after he's been involved in a couple cautions, West, but he's still running in the top 5.
A good run going for them as they come back around. Stephen O'Hare, we mentioned him a moment ago where he bounced off the wall. And since then, he has, after this cycle of pit stops, was able to get back on the high horse, so to speak, and now running in the 3rd position. Devon West has fell back to 4th. Mark Walt, how about him in the number 48 truck? He's sitting in the number 4 position, or 5th position, I'm sorry, 5th. But that truck should look like it's been in a demolition derby, Chris Dunn. He's used a repair. He stayed out of trouble for the most part. And even if he does get in trouble, he uses pit road and pit stops and uses an on-track position smartly to stay in the top 5.
Yeah, he has been flying through the air. He has been shoved across the racetrack. That car is put together with spit, tape, and paper mache right now, and that thing currently sits in the 5th position. You gotta hand it to his crew right now.
And of course, Elmer Super Glue, the big sponsor to keep everything intact on that truck here at Dover too. As
I got you, didn't I, Wes?
You did, for sure. You got me on that one. As they'll come back off the corner here. Oh, good Lord. Here we go. Got White battling. There you see Stabnow continuing his tear through the field. He's trying to pass now. Dennis Moore for that position. To go into 6th spot. Mark Waltz will be next to the crack the top 5. He has passed almost 7 trucks on this last restart, Chris.
He is absolutely driving like his hair is on fire right now. He has worked up from that penalty. He is up to 7th right now. He's trying to close in on Dennis Moore in that 6th position. He's caught up to him. He's about 2 car lengths back from him. And 26 of Ray has just parked it, so his fun meter is pegged for the evening. So tough break for the 26 machine of Ray Forner.
Ray Fournier coming in there, and he is done for. Okay, I'm sorry. I think we had just got a report that the 26 had reported he was out, but he just came down pit road. Chris Lawrence, you got an update on Ray Forner?
I do not. I'm trying to get a hold of his crew. I can't seem to find him anywhere.
He is on the racetrack, though. He still continues racing. I understand that they were saying he just parked it. He might have came to pit road, but he is back on track several laps down. Dan West Jr., the leader, Tyler King, Stephen O'Hare, Devon West, Mark Waltz, your top 5. They roar back to 1.
How about Jeff Stabnow up now into that 6th position? He's now got Mark Waltz in front of him. Stabnow is absolutely flying in that number 24 machine. He has moved up. He started 13th on the restart on that last caution. He's worked himself back up to the 6th position. He has been currently the fastest car on the racetrack this entire time. For those of you just joining us, now he's going to move underneath Walls. For those of you just joining us, Stabnow spun on lap 1 after starting on the pole, had to go all the way to the back, and now he is up to 5th, Wes. He is flying.
Did you see Waltz getting loose exiting 4? It's shades of what happened to Stabnow, it looked like a moment ago. The truck was fishtailing him, dirt tracking it off the corner, goes up the racetrack and opens the door now for Moore and White and everyone else able to bypass him. A problem on the 48 truck of Mark Waltz.
He's might have some handling issues there in that number 48 machine. He's got James Vining now closing in on him very quickly. This might lead into an unscheduled green flag pit stop for Mark Walls if this thing starts to shake out the way it's going. He's dropping wholesale positions right now. How about Stabnow? He got around Devon West. He is up to 4th now. He's got Stephen O'Hare in front of him.
Roy Grande on pit road, I'm understanding, in the 18. As this race continues on. Closing in on lap 100. And finally, Chris, we've got a green flag run under our belt, bud.
We have got a pretty decent sized green flag run, and I am trying not to jinx it right now because we've been only running 4 or 5 laps before we go caution. But we've got us a pretty decent green flag run. Walt's now trying to work back on Chris White. Maybe he's got those issues under control there on that number 48 machine as he works now to the outside. Stabnow up to the 3rd spot now. He got around Stephen.
Whoa! Contact in the wall. Mark Waltz keeps on going. His truck is in trouble. The 48 shot up, hit the outside retaining wall on the back straightaway. As Stabnow has worked his way up to now 2nd, Chris Dunn.
He is absolutely flying. He's 2.6 seconds back behind your leader, Dan West Jr. But the way he is going right now, he's going to make that up in no time. We were just talking about Waltz. I thought he had it back under control, and now he's going to take it pit side. Waltz maybe trying to go and see what's wrong with that number 48 machine.
Waltz in trouble on that number 48 machine, giving up a good run. At one time, he was in the top 5. He might be ready to call it a night and exit off the race. He is currently on pit road. Chris Lawrence, Waltz in front of you in 48.
Yeah, looks like he's just having a hard time right now, and I'm trying to get a word with him.
All right, so we're going to try to grab it. I think he just officially has retired from the race. He just calls and says, I am out. He is done for. And that's a tough break there, Chris Dunn, because for several times, all the bad luck he had, he was still in the fight, battling in the top 5.
Yeah, you got to give him an attaboy. You had the issue where he got sent flying through the air, flipping down the back straightaway, and then spun across the front stretch, and he still ran into the top 5 a lot, but you got to take in consideration how much damage was left on that race car after those last couple of cautions.
Paulison with smoke bellowing on his number 58 High Life entry, and he drops down to the bottom of the racetrack. Problems for the 58 truck. He's already several laps down as we still continue this cycle of green flag laps here. Understanding.
Like Roy Grande as well. He's out as well.
Yes. Roy Grande is out also. There you go. Oh my goodness, Chris Lawrence, it is becoming a parking lot in the pits, if you will, with Devon West in the wall.
Tough break for your Devon West machine. Currently, he was running in the top 5 most of the race.
Wow.
He's got loose there up into that wall. He's got it gathered back up, but we got to check out and see how much right side damage is on that number 5 machine as Bakker goes around him as well.
Chris, does this remind you of Darlington, per se? This Darlington to me is like Dover, or Dover's like Darlington, flip-flop that. You hit the wall, you suffer damage.
Yeah, it sneaks up on you. It's like a vacuum. You get up close enough, it just sucks you right in. And you talk about the Darlington stripe, you get those Dover stripes in a hurry.
Vining up the racetrack, what a good run for him. The stowaway cat's in the yard. He's got the Stone Cold Steve Austin BMF entry truck currently in the top 5. James Vining looking good today.
Think he'll down a couple of Steve Weisers if he wins this one?
Maybe. I know right now it's BTA. Don't trust anybody. What was that, Chris?
There's some middle fingers and some Steve Weisers after the race if he wins.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far. Number 1 fan sign.
Chris Lawrence back to pit road. What you got for us, Chris Lawrence?
Yeah, I was down here in Devon's pit crew, and I was asking him, like, hey, how's the car? Just saw it bounce off the wall. They're like, he's completely focused, and he's dead silent on the radio, so they have no idea what's going on with the car right now.
Yeah, right now he is mired back in the top 10 in 9th and about to get past for that. If Dan Lowther can catch him, there he is. That is going to put him in the top 10. Honestly, Chris, this reminds me of what happened to Stephen O'Hare a few moments ago, the last cycle of cautions we had.
Yeah, so Stephen O'Hare, he's had a lot of bad luck on that thing. He's had the rear end issues. But now it looks like everything is good to go right now up in that 3rd position. Hopefully his luck is going to be good the rest of the time.
Lap 105 of 150, 45 laps to go here at Dover. LSR TV, your home of sim racing with coverage of the Northwestern Truck Series, presented by Walt's Beard Co. I am Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is Chris Dunn. Chris Lawrence is on pit road. And, of course, awesome production work by Cody Wooten, executive producer, and also BJ Duvall. So, again, working lap number 110 of 150, 40 laps to go. I think I said it was 105. Have a little blurriness on the screen there for a second. But Stabnow has been the fastest on the track by a full 10th the last couple of laps on interval, Chris. He's coming.
Yeah, he has cut that gap now to under 2 seconds. 1.8 right now. Stabnow trying to reel in your leader West. And it's 7 seconds back to 3rd. Your top 2 cars turning a torrid pace right now.
Dan West Jr., he has been strong. Yeah, the man that we thought was going to be the man to beat. Jeff Stabnow involved in an incident on the start exiting turn 4. And then he's had to rally. And by the way, suffered a speeding penalty. Had to go to the tail of the field. And guess what? He still is in the number 2 position. As we see Chris White and King and Bakker battle for spots off 4 or 2.
We had an award for a driver that passes the most cars in one race. I think Stabnow is an absolute shoo-in. I think he's passed like 102 cars tonight total.
Understanding that the lap times have been identical the last 2 laps in succession for Jeff Stabnow.
Very consistent with the top 2, West and Stabnow, running identical laps. These 2 guys have it figured out better than anybody right now.
Well, we're working the final 35 laps of this event. Kick back, relax, crank up the volume. It's time for the LSR TV. Feel the thunder from Dover. Look at this battle with the Braves. Moore and O'Hare battling. And yes, Chris Dunn, it's official, bud. In less than 25 days, baseball returns back. Major League Baseball back in the US of A.
Let's go Braves. Tomahawk chop, baby.
Yes, sir. I love my Atlanta Braves. Looking forward to seeing Ronald Acuna Jr. and the rest of the stars of the Atlanta Braves to see what they can do. Pit stops have been happening. Chris Lawrence, who's been coming to the pits and exiting.
Yeah, just now spoke with Tyler Keene's crew. He came in, got 4 fresh rubber. Also saw the 11 of Frank Harris. James Vining just went off pit road. He said his car was doing great. He got that fresh Sunoco fuel and some more rubber on that truck. He's out the door. Also had a word with trying to think of the guy's name. Apologize. No, I'll let you know as soon as I figure it out. Have brain fart here on pit road.
Vining is the only truck 2 laps down now on the racetrack in the what? The what? Remember that slogan for the longest time in WWE, Chris? What?
What?
He's doing what?
I hated that song.
Where is he? You're in 9th? What? You want me to win? What? Only fitting that Stone Cold Steve Austin's 333 of Vining has now got a beer truck in front of him.
Hey, you got to get the beer, man. I'm telling you. O'Hare chasing the beer right now. Steve Weiser's. He's got his own beer, by the way. You knew that, didn't you?
Now let's go down to our pit reporter who had some timers. He now remembers. Well, problems. Bottom of the racetrack. Moore's truck in 34 with a problem. Number 34, one of the trucks with an issue, or was that Walters? Somebody with an issue at the bottom of the racetrack. Not sure who it was. I want to say it might have been Dennis Moore. And there it is. Yes, it is. Dennis Moore overshot his pit stall and stalls the truck, but we still stay green. No caution.
Staying green this time. Stabnow 1.2 seconds. The gap. As you see your top 2 right there, they're within the same camera length as Diane West going to the pit area. Leader going pit side.
Trucks coming to pit road. Chris Lawrence, you got your memory bracket. Here comes the leader, DW Jr.
Yes, we're waiting here for Dan West Jr. to come down pit road. I was able to tuck in a word with the 63 of Dan Louder. He said, man, my car is all over the place. I'm praying for a caution. But here we have the 55 of West Jr. crawling down the long Monster Mile pit road. Looking like he's going to get some good Sunoco fuel and some of that great Goodyear rubber on the car. Here he goes in the pit stall as he stops into the stall. Crew guys come out and around the right side. The lug nuts are off. Tires are going off the tire and they roll back around. Car back down on the jacks. They rock around to the left side. Left side's up in the air. Tires, fuel. Windshield tear off what's always needed and back off pit road he goes.
Coming up on 25 laps to go, and yes, Jeff Stabnow is the new leader. He has not pitted, though. Not yet. A couple of other trucks have not pitted. And I'm wondering, Chris, if he is playing possum, like I said, his nickname, waiting for a late race caution to fall, and then he comes to the pits and capitalizes on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the last time he pitted was. It was when everybody else did. And you got to wonder how much more he's going to stretch his fuel mileage and his tires. He's got a couple cars getting their laps back here, west, and everybody's going by him right now. I think he's saving some stuff right there.
Either he's saving or he is committing to come down to pit road, one or the other in that 24 truck. He still stays on the top shelf as I'll exit off of turn 4, this time by down the front straightaway, as the interval is almost 11 seconds for Stephen O'Hare, John Ottenbacher, Dan Lowther. You know, Chris Lawrence just said a minute ago, Lowther said his truck is loosey-goosey and tight and fighting it like crazy, but you'd never know that, Chris, because he currently is in the top 5.
Yeah, definitely. He is running like nothing's even happened on that machine. Top 5 cars, the only cars on the lead lap right now. Kevin Smith, the final car on the lead lap, 20-some seconds back from Stab now, and he's putting on a torrid pace.
A torrid pace for sure for that driver there as they come across the line. Working lap 128 of 150. Final 25 laps. Who's your pick to win the race? Let's go first down to pit road. Chris Lawrence, who's it going to be?
I don't know. I'm liking that 41 Stephen O'Hare. I was able to talk with him just a little while ago. The crew guys, he goes, man, car's looking great. Hoping to get back to the front here as I'm busy, just with my hands full as I'm trying to battle Ottenbacher.
Coming back after that problem he had as well, hitting the wall with 41 of Stephen O'Hare. And here's something I believe too, Chris Dunn. I don't think he's pitted yet. He's not pitted with Stab now.
No, I think he's going to wait till Stab now pits, and he'll pit at the same time. That's going to be my guesstimation. But you never know the way these guys have their strategies right now.
Who's your pick to win, Chris?
I'm going to stick with the 40 or the 24 Stab now. He's got the car right now, but if he doesn't, but I can't pick another one. But I'm going to stick with Stab now.
I'm going to go off on a limb here, and I'm going to say my pick is going to be John Ottenbacher. John Ottenbacher, and we got one stalling entering pit road, and that's Scott Hutchinson. Problem on the 91 truck. He's now on pit road for service. I'd say watch Ottenbacher, though, for sure. Let's see what he can do. He's moved up to 3rd. He's moved up to 2nd now, actually.
He is right there in that catbird seat as soon as Stab now hits pit road. You know, you got to wonder how many more laps Stab now has in those tires and that fuel.
Chris Lawrence, could Jeff Stabnow go to the finish?
I doubt it. Last time we saw any of these drivers were lap 75, so they're probably holding on for dear life right now. I'm probably thinking next 5-10 laps they'll probably come in.
There we go. Supposed to go till 80, so I'm thinking in the next 5 laps or so, we'll see them come to pit road. Stabnow, Ottenbacher, Lowther, and O'Hare right there with 75 laps. The man that will cycle back around when they come to pit road, along with Kevin Smith, who also will pit, was on lap 75, will be Dan West Jr. He was a lap down. He is now back on the lead lap in 5 trucks. Currently not a lap down currently, Chris.
Yeah, we didn't mention Dan West Jr. on our picks to win this race. He has found himself back on that on the lead lap. I believe he's going to cycle back around and be up front when everybody starts pitting here in just a bit. He might have played that pit strategy game perfect.
5 trucks on the lead lap. Kevin Smith is 1 lap down. Now James Manning is 1 lap down. Caution comes out. They'll cycle around and get the free pass as this race is coming down to the final 15 laps here at Dover. The miles, the Munster. 150 on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. I am Wesley Outland, Chris Dunn alongside for color, and on pit road is Chris Lawrence. Awesome production by producer and executive director of BJ Duvall and Cody Wooten. And Stabnow, what an awesome story, Chris. Coming back, overcoming the odds, getting involved in an accident on the first lap, fighting through a pit road speeding penalty, and more to be able to now be the man, to be the leader. But he is not pitted yet in 24.
He is definitely, he said he pitted last on lap number 75, and I don't think that there's 75 laps on those tires or in that fuel right now. He may stretch it as long as he can.
Chris Lawrence, one driver you said to keep an eye on. He's currently a lap down, but that's Chris White in 83. What's the up?
Yeah, he was last on the pit road at 121. That was one less than West Jr. So he's a man to watch since he has some fresh rubber. He is going towards the front.
We get set here for the final 15 laps. Hey, real quickly, let's take a look at the manufacturers in the race right now. The battles between Bowtie and Ford and the T's of Toyota, and see where your driver is at in their entries of where they're standing. Jeff Stabnow, by the way, the clear blanks are the Ford, so we have not got the official Ford emblem yet. You've got Stabnow, he leads in a Ford. West Jr., Ottenbacher, Lowther in all Chevrolets, a Ford for O'Hare in 5th. Chris White's in a Ford. Then you have a Toyota of James Manning, Chevrolet for Devon West. One lap down, Tyler King in a Ford. And Kevin Smith, now Devin Moore changes up. Dennis Moore changes into the top 10, also in a Chevrolet. More Chevrolets than Fords in the battle, and 2-3 Toyotas here tonight, Chris.
Yeah, the Toyotas, they've been outnumbered a lot lately in these races. You don't see very many people in Toyotas. There you see Walters getting a lap back in that number 9 machine. He's still a ways back, 11 laps down with the number 9. Still out front. His laps are clicking down. We're under 10 to go.
Yes, sir.
And Stabnow still out there, stretching it as far as he can go.
Chris Lawrence, is he gambling on fuel? What's the story?
I don't know. I think all these drivers up here really have their hands full. I think they're just really praying for a caution. But I have no idea. Only time will tell.
Praying for a caution that has not come. Jeff Stabnow, the leader, gambling to the line with 8 laps to go. Can he hold off the pack without coming to pit road, taking on tires, or running out of fuel?
I'm telling you what, I'm watching that gap between Stabnow and West. It is shrinking second by second. 10 seconds, 9 seconds now. You see that gap, it's closing. West is on fresher tires, and he's now 9 seconds back. And you can see how much that gap is closing lap by lap.
I think, honestly, if we were listening to the spotter radio on the number 24 of Stabnow, they are telling him, save your tires, save your fuel. Do whatever you can to conserve, because it's coming down to the wire. Heartbreaker if he was to run out of fuel here at the finish, but he is gambling here. Let's go down to pit road. Chris Lawrence has an update with the crew chief on Jeff Stabnow.
Yeah, Jeff Stabnow, he said, man, I'm hoping I'm about 2 to 3 for the good, but if I had 10, it would even be greater. He's rolling the dice. He even was able to talk to the 41 O'Hare. He's going, man, this car has madly got away from me. I am struggling to get here. I need a caution.
How about Ottenbacher?
I will check on him as well. I'm on the way to pit stop right now.
Ottenbacher, the last truck that's on the lead lap is right now. There's only 3 trucks on the lead lap, including the leader Stabnow, Dan West Jr., and Chris White. As we paint the picture here, the story is about to close its chapter between this driver of the 24 and the 55, trying to rally for the finish and stay out there gambling. Does he have enough, Chris Dunn?
We are going to find out. It's either it's go or go home time for Jeff Stabnow, as he currently runs up front. The gap 6.6 seconds now. Gaining quicker is West as they roll here out of turn number 2. Going to check the times here. Stabnow 25.6 last time around. Dan West 25.03 last time around. So 0.6 of a second faster was West than Stabnow.
And another thing is you can save your fuel. if you get behind a truck and you draft with them. Down the back straightaway. Update on the 89, John Bakker, Chris Lawrence.
Yeah, I just spoke to his crew chief. He goes, man, I think we messed up on our pit strategy. I'm just trying to hold on, but we will make it. We will make it the rest of the way.
We'll see what happens here. Final 2 laps. 2 to go here at Dover. Stab now is limping. While it looks like Dan West Jr. is flying through the field. The interval now cut in half at 5 seconds. And he is swerving the truck back and forth. Stab now. Can he hold on? Chris out of turn 4 to the white flag.
White flag is out this time by Stab now. I think he's got enough. He definitely has enough as he crosses the start-finish line. Vining behind him. He was swerving around just a little bit as they roll out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Your pole setter down the backstretch for the final time. Wesley Outland to you in turn 3.
Jeff Stab now crashed on the first lap, had 1 repair, suffered a pit road speeding penalty, went to the tail end of the field and fought his way back. He tames Miles the Munster, even though he got bit at Dover, and wins here tonight at the Dover International Speedway in the Miles the Munster 150. Back-to-back truck wins for this driver for Team LSR. Dan West Jr. will finish in second, and Chris White will settle for third. What a comeback for the 24. I call him the possum. He got it done yet again.
What an absolute crazy strategy. Stab now doing the donuts here on the front straightaway.
And the Derby will follow. Their traditional way of celebrating Chris Dunn as they'll start burning them up and lighting up the tires. And then one of his teammates or members will come and just crash into him. There you see it. Dan Lowther, Kevin Smith. Those are victory punches.
That is the greatest victory lane celebration of all time.
Oh, Dan West Jr. coming in. My producer said it ain't over yet. Oh, what a fun time here is Devon West on in
Over the
Bakker.
pit road he goes.
Look out, Chris Lawrence, you got a truck flying your way.
Oh God, parts are everywhere.
Oh, what a fun time here when it's all said and done. Virtual reality, virtual simulator iRacing for the Northwestern Truck Series presented by Walt Beard Co. here at Dover. By the way, here's another quick statistic, Chris Dunn. The last caution flag fell at halfway. We went 75 laps to the checkered flag.
That is crazy. Jeff Stab now, last pitted, lap 75. He went the entire last half of the race not pitting. That is insane.
Here's the unofficial results presented by Walt's Beard Co. here tonight at the Dover International Speedway. Stab now, your winner, followed by the driver of Dan West Jr. settling for second. Chris Dunn will finish third. The last truck on the lead lap. Vining, what a run for him. Gets himself a top 5 finish, as well as drivers like Bakker and Devon West as well, 1 lap down.
Yeah, sorry, I just got the news I finished third. I am a happy camper right now. Sorry, Wes, I had to rib you there. It was.
Did I say you finished third?
Yes, you did. I'm a happy camper. I'm taking the paycheck.
Sorry.
I'm going home.
Chris White is what I meant. Chris White.
No, Ottenbacher 6, McKee.
It's been a long day.
Dennis Moore in that 7th position. Tyler King 8th. Dan Lowther 9th. Stephen O'Hare 10th. Then it was Tom Green 11th. Kevin Smith 12th. And then 13th position, it was Frank Harris. Then Walters, Hutchison, Fournier, Waltz, and Grande rounding out the top 18.
And I keep noticing also we have 1, 2, 4, 4 as well on the scoring thing there. The rest of the rundown goes down like that with Rogers and Maines, Burke, Thurston, the rundown. 24 trucks here tonight for this event at Dover. Well, The Clan Wars Servers Race Wrap-Up Show is coming up next after a quick timeout. Jeff Stabnow victorious. He tames Miles the Munster here at Dover on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Dover, what an interesting event here tonight. And when it's all said and done, Miles the Munster had his share of attrition eating up the field. A final 75-lap green flag run, overcoming a end-of-line penalty, speeding on pit road, crashing on the initial race go. And he comes back to win. The pole qualifier wins the race. 2 in a row now for the driver, the number 24, Walt's Beard Co. Ford F-150, North Dakota's. Awesome. Jeff Stabnow. Jeff, congratulations. You are kicking off the Clan Wars Servers post-race wrap-up. What a phenomenal job. Talk about the comeback.
Well, first of all, it's Montana.
Oh, Montana. There we go.
Yeah, we shot ourselves in the foot there a couple times. Couldn't have made that one any harder, but that Walt's Beard Co. LSR TV Ford F-150 was on rails, man. It had some killer long-run speed, so I wasn't even worried. We just sat there and cruised and just kind of waited for everybody to wear their tires out and drove up to the front. Got pretty loose there. I had a stretch where I was real loose there, probably about 30 laps. And about the time Dan pitted, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to keep it on the track till the end of the race. I didn't have gas. Didn't know if the tires would let me, but tires came back to me, and it was just real solid. Probably those last 15 laps to the finish. It was just a matter if we could turn fast enough laps to keep these guys on fresh tires from coming back around and getting us.
Discuss with our viewers what the mindset of getting back into it. I know it's not real racing, but it's simulator racing. It's close to the real deal. You crashed. You had to make a repair. You had to fight and claw through the field. You were making a run through the top 5. You got busted for a speeding penalty. And then you had to go to the tail and come back to the front. You were on a mission there on that last green flag run where you ran down everybody virtually and won the race.
Yeah, I get a little hot-headed during the race sometimes, and when I screw up, I let the little meltdowns get in my head and compound the mistakes. And so this was one of those where you just got to tell yourself, it happened, it's over. Get focused. You don't have a fast repair, so just be careful and just go through the field and don't get impatient and just pick and choose when and where you're going to pass guys.
Final question, going to be a totally different world in Indianapolis next week.
Yeah, totally different Indianapolis. I love that track. I think I got the win there last year. and but there's some guys in here. Dan is real good there. Sean's great there. I don't know if Mark will be able to race with us again, but he's real good there too. So it's just a different track. Those 90-degree corners, absolutely love it. It's a blast. Can't wait.
2 in a row from Darlington to now Dover, taming the beast here for Miles the Munster. 150 winner. It is the driver from Montana of Jeff Stabnow. Team LSR TV number 24, sponsored by Walt's Beard Co. And now Chris Dunn is called up with our runner-up, second place finisher.
Yeah, Dan West Jr., our runner-up tonight. Man, you had a great car the whole time. Catching up to him. Were you surprised how long he stayed out after that? His last pit stop, 75 laps on the same tires and gas. Were you thinking he was going to come in?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I didn't have any idea that he'd stay out, but obviously it worked out for him, and I was giving it all I had, burning my stuff up, trying to get back to him.
You had a good run early in the race. You and Devon, you guys were dominating the whole show. As a family thing, how good's it feel to run 1 and 2 as a family for most of the time?
It feels great. I mean, obviously when you have your son out there with you, it's pretty awesome. We both pretty much had the same set, and we pretty much, making the same adjustments throughout the night on this deal. And all he could say though was, "Jeff's coming."
You were definitely you were coming there at the end. You brought the gap down from under 10 seconds to around 5 seconds at the end. What was your strategy after that last pit stop?
Just go. I knew I had to go hard. I mean, that was the deal. It was just go hard and don't worry about tires. I think was there 28 laps or something left, and I just knew I had to just go wide open.
Pretty good points night for you. You were at 1 point back going in, and Stabnow was 1 point ahead of you. This is a very, very close points battle. These kind of close points battles, it's got to make it exciting throughout the rest of the year.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's nice to congratulations to Jeff getting that win, and it's awesome. I mean, there's some excellent drivers out here. I see Chris White ended up third, and congratulations to him also. We missed Sean tonight, and Mark Walls was definitely fast. Devon was fast. Stefan O'Hare. As you can see up there in the booth, man, we got some great drivers, and it's going to be a battle from here on out.
I know you got a long laundry list of people you want to give thanks to help make it happen for you.
Oh, I start out with LSR TV. You guys are awesome. Like I say, we got family members who watch these shows and love them. Effective Web Solutions and Northwest Racing.
All right, that's tonight's runner-up, Dan West Jr. here at Dover. Going to send it down now to Chris Lawrence with your third place finisher.
Hey, it's Chris Lawrence. I'm here with the 83 Chris White. Man, you had a decent car all night that went backwards, forwards, all throughout the field. Then all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to come to pit road at 121. And then you were just on a rail. I mean, I saw you go from like 8th to 7th to 6th. I mean, what was your motivation there to just get it going?
I don't know. I was kind of contemplating on that last run, staying out and trying to pull off what Jeff was doing there. But I figured it'd be cutting it close on fuel, and some of these guys were dipping down pit road and getting some tires and fuel, and I figured I better do it to save myself from running out of gas. So getting the fresh tires definitely helped me surge back up to the front there and capture this third place finish. It was a good, solid run for us tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you looked really good. I mean, you saw lots of cars, all over the field. How were you able to keep somewhat your nose clean and manage to just keep your mind focused, just to keep the car just where you wanted it?
Well, Dover's a fun track. I really enjoy running Dover. It's a very challenging track, concrete surface, real slick. You come off these corners, turn 2 and turn 4, very uniquely, and it's not for everybody, but I like it. And in fact, this is the site of my sole Truck Series win in the past, and I was hoping to do it again tonight, but came up short. But again, a solid night, solid points night, and that's what we needed.
Yeah, you're looking great. Why don't you take a moment and thank your sponsors and everyone that gets done for you?
Certainly. I got to thank the Northwest Racing guys. It's just a great time coming out here and racing. It's a lot of fun. It's a passion. This is a great way to come out and do it. and a lot of fast guys out here. We got a lot of newer guys coming in, and it's good every week, having fun. Got to thank you guys, LSR TV. Fantastic job. I like going back and watching these things for sure. Got to thank my SimStar Motorsports. We got Interstate Synthetics on the truck. If you're looking for AMSOIL, visit interstatesynthetics.com. And I got to throw a shout out too for a local restaurant down in town, Rochester, Washington, Mills Diner. If you're looking for a good breakfast and a nice hot cup of coffee, be sure to stop in and say hi. They jumped on board my real life racing gig this year, so appreciate that. Thanks, guys, and we'll look forward to Indianapolis. It's another good one for us.
We'll be looking forward to seeing you out there and seeing what you can do. With me and Chris White next to me here, we're going to throw it back to Chris Dunn and Wesley Outlander back up in the booth.
Well, Chris White, you definitely got me hungry now, so I have to find some post-race dinner since I don't have a Waffle House in my location there. So, it's been a fun time here at Dover. Chris Lawrence, great job on pit road. Your rookie debut. Take off those yellow rookie stripes. What's your thoughts of the race? Final closing thoughts from Dover tonight.
It was really interesting. I mean, it was almost like Bristol a couple weeks ago when I was, in the booth up there last week. But, man, it was great. This whole series of trucks and drivers are just really good on the track, and it was just entertaining to watch here at the Monster Mile.
Chris Dunn, we've known each other a long, long time. Announced the East Bay Winter Nationals with each other. Some other marquee events. Always tag along with one another at PRI in Indianapolis. You've got reality racing tomorrow night, and so do I for the weekend. What's your take of tonight's event here at for the trucks at Dover?
It was a very sketchy start. Had a lot of cautions to start with. But then it went smooth sailing, and we saw a great race. You got guys charging from the back to the front, and you saw some great pit strategy playing out for the win. And he had a hard charge, and Dan West coming up there to make it interesting there at the end. But it played out to be a pretty good race.
A phenomenal job again. A perfect story setting from the highs to the lows, but 7 yellow flags to stop the event. Caution free the rest of the way from halfway from lap 75 to 150. One pit stop made there by Jeff Stabnow with 75 laps to go. Survives the wreck, survives in the line, pit road penalties on pit road, and comes back from the tail in that final 75-lap run to win the race from the pole. Awesome run there again by Dan West Jr. and Chris White. All those trucks were the only trucks on the lead lap. Again, Miles the Munster surely made his presence felt here tonight at Dover for the Northwestern Truck Series. With that, we'll pack our bags virtually. We'll get ready to head to the Hoosier state of Indianapolis, Indiana, in Speedway, Indiana, actually, for the Brickyard, the world's most famous racetrack in the entire world. And, of course, it will be the trucks at Indianapolis next Monday night. Also, the Northwestern Cup Series will be in action from Indianapolis for the Brickyard as well. Myself will be on pit road along with Justin Prince and Greg Rentz. The voices in our broadcast tonight on LSR TV include on pit road Chris Lawrence, Chris Dunn in the booth, and, of course, awesome production work on our LSR TV broadcast crew by Will Duvall, BJ Duvall, and, of course, Cody Wooten. For everybody at LSR TV and the iRacing Northwestern Truck Series, I'm Wesley Outland. God bless you all. Keep on praying for our country. Until next time, thank you for watching.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.